tusonga mbele mama Afrika, Afrika, tusonga mbele mama Afrika, Afrika,
Kwa pamoja Afrika, mwishani wote.
from country to country, yeah, we gotta work together. We are leaders now, aiming higher for the better. Together, to make our nations greater, we're sharing to the power. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality.
Yeah, listen, together we shape young men and women. With the pillars, with the future, here we are. Let's join together with ability to change communities, with love, with peace, to respond to our need, to call for unity. Africa, hear me cry, never leave me alone. As I see light in a brighter future, let's join hands for youth and women. Let's join hands for youth and
So you
women.
lead, I lead, we lead together. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality.
Yeah, vijana wa Afrika wote waungana, vijana vijana kutoka mashariki, magharibi, kaskazini na kusini, hata na kati, twaja pamoja ili tufanye nini?
So you lead, I lead, we lead together. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality.
Hello, kunjani. Sana chibakae. Kiana. Bravo. Amahoro. Mama.
All right. Good morning, Africa, and it is very, very exciting to get back to you. We are back with the African Pulse check-in, and I am so excited to be back on this show. I do have two colleagues who, for some reason, do not want us to see them. Anita and Beatrice, if you could be so kind to turn on your cameras, we shall be immensely grateful. As usual, for those of you who have not been part of us, we always have the Youth Pulse check-in, and the essence is for us to just catch up in a more relaxed space. We want to know what is going on in your cities across Africa. It will be exciting if you can share that in the chat box, or if you want to join us in studio, just say the word. I'll be sharing the link with you. Quick shouts out. I see Gasape from Burundi. We lead together. Indeed, Gasape, I do think I remember you from the Your Lead Summit. And Gasape here has exciting work he does. Probably on one of the preceding check-ins, we shall be able to reach out to him. Sulaiman says, success in your quest, guys. Thank you for the good wishes. And Feli says, hello, everyone. Feli, if you could tell us where you are coming from, and Sulaiman, that will be very, very appreciated. But for now, I first want to holla other people with me in studio. I will start with you, Anita. I see Beatrice is still off. How are you doing? Where are you tuning in from? And how is it down there?
Hi, Ivan. Just like you, I'm glad to be back. We missed the check-in. My name is Jisha, and I am tuning in from Kampala, Uganda. That's in the east of Africa. And Kampala feels quite cold this morning, but we're managing. And yeah.
All right, it's nice to hear from you, Anita and Beatrice. First of all, I love the afro. I'm trying to match it, as you can see. But how are you and where are you tuning in from, Beatrice?
Morning, Africa. Beatrice Marandu, and I'm tuning in from Tanzania, Arusha, headquarters of Africa.
All right, Beatrice, your connection is not the best, but yeah, she says she's Beatrice Marandu. She's tuning in from Arusha, right? I believe
Yes.
so. All right. And Feli says that is tuning in from Malawi and as a refugee.
Okay.
Oh, it's nice to hear, Feli, that you are safe and sound in Malawi. We would like to know which country you were from to end up in Malawi as a refugee. And it's exciting, actually. One of these days, we should have you on the show to pick your experience on living on the road or away from home, like you are doing. But for now, because it's been a while, I have so much tea to share with you guys. First, I want to say Happy New Year. I've been told that if you meet someone for the first time, even if it is in December, you need to tell them Happy New Year for that year. So since it's the first time we are catching up, Happy New Year, everyone. That's one. The second thing, okay, great, Beatrice is back with us. The second thing is I want to also say that we stand with the people of Zambia who lost their former president, I think, sometime last week. We stand with you, and we hope that the good president's soul is well rested in peace. Away from that, a lot is happening. A lot is happening, and I just wanted to go very quickly through it. Hopefully, I can catch up, and then maybe after that, I will borrow thoughts from the colleagues that are here with us, as usual. So first, okay, Feli says he's from the Okay, I don't know whether Feli, you are a gentleman or a lady. I risk confusing the gender, but Feli is from the DRC and fled since 2013 due to conflicts in South Kivu. Well, that's unfortunate to hear. But Feli, on that note, is the first news I will announce that DRC was admitted to the EAC, which is very exciting. That will so the process of admitting DRC to the EAC is happening, and when it is done, EAC will command the largest youth population on the African continent as a regional economic community. That will be exciting, the opportunities that that will present, and hopefully it will also present some semblance of security for people in the South Kivu in DRC, so that Feli can come back home and enjoy the community as the rest of us do. Um, uh, that's it about the ESC. I just wanted now to discuss youth leadership. Yeah. What is youth leadership looking like across the continent? Very quickly, the ESC got new ambassadors, so we do have new ESC youth ambassadors. Hopefully, we shall be able to get them here on the Pulse check-in. I have heard from very reliable sources that Anita here is now the boss of communication at the ESC, so probably we shall be writing to her officially to request for her to mobilize these ambassadors for us to interact with them. That also came with South Sudan getting, for the first time, their ESC youth ambassadors. So it will be exciting. Probably we shall be hosting the group of ambassadors, each on a different day. The second thing is that the COMESA got its Youth Advisory Council. Those are people that we shall also be looking out for. When we go down south, I think SADC also managed to get its youth representatives. And then when we go now at a continental level, there was a creation of the Continental Youth Advisory Council for the African Continental Free Trade Area, an initiative of young people carried out by young people to ensure that the AFCFTA has a youthful voice, a youthful check, and a youthful input. That is very, very exciting. And we shall also be getting those leaders at some point here. Away from leadership, and I'm coming back to Beatrice and Anita to share their mind. I just want to unpack everything so that then when we get to interact with it, we are done with it, because you guys know that we don't have so much time on the check-in. It's usually 30 minutes and we are already 10 minutes in. I feel like it's a real pulse rush right now. But okay, before I go on, I just want to borrow your mind, Anita and Beatrice. What do you think of this new age of leadership, of youth inclusive leadership that is happening across the continent? Anita, I'll start with you.
Took me a moment there, but like you said, it's all really exciting, especially for us to be able to see the things that we have advocated for being realized now, but also the mantra leaders of tomorrow being for us to be able to see actually realize to leaders of today, for us to actually have our peers, for ourselves to be actually leading today in our communities at a global and continental level, and especially in places that matter, for us to have systems that are functioning, for us to have these transitions of leadership, that the youth that have been in power actually have been able to mentor others to come after them, because for us to have these changes of leadership in ESEAP, in the SADC Youth, COMESA, at the continent level, we also got a new Africa Youth Envoy. And so for us to see this transition means that youth are actually implementing the things that they have gathered over time. They are mentoring people to come after them, and they're leading in places that matter. The AFCFTA being one with the advisory council, that youth are actually taking up these spaces and driving the change that they have been longing to see. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for mentioning the African Youth Envoy. That had skipped my mind. Beatrice, are you still with us? Okay. It shows me here that Beatrice still is struggling with internet connection. So whenever you can get back to us, Beatrice, we shall be happy to have you. Thank you. For those of us following us, please drop in the chat box, whichever social media platform you are on what leadership changes have happened in your country, and whether youth have been involved or youth have been elected to those positions. That notwithstanding, I think so much is happening. We have a couple of countries in Africa that are having their election cycle this year. Very close to home is the Republic of Kenya, and we have been trying to follow their conversations and how young people are involved in leadership. So for those of you that are interested in conversations about Kenyan leadership, just go to our YouTube pages, ES Youth Ambassadors platform or You Lead Africa. There have been segments of the Unplugged series, the popular Unplugged series, that was featuring young leaders that are standing for elective positions in Kenya. They have very, very good conversations there, and how we as young people can get involved in a peaceful election. Moving on, there is this thing called the COVID-19 pandemic. For a moment, all of us had stopped talking about it because of, I don't know what is happening across the other side of Europe, you know. But I want to tell you that a couple of strides have been made on the African continent regarding the COVID-19. First, and I'm going to make this very quick. So you guys know how when COVID hit, we did have very many challenges that, starting from understanding the whole idea of its effects. And then when countries started probably getting vaccinated, we were slow on getting the vaccines as the continent because we didn't have production happening on the continent. I see you, Ambassador Alfred, and you say hello from Liberia. Tell us how Liberia is doing, what is happening down there, what's the pulse in the country. We would appreciate knowing that. So, back to COVID-19. The African CDC, which is the African Center for Disease Control, it is under the African Union, recently signed an MOU with Pfizer to supply COVID-19 immune boosting pills. Yes, we shall now have pills, and for those of you that hate your skins being pricked, I think we have a quick solution. But that notwithstanding, many strides have been made. We are going to have about 5 assembly plants, production plants for the COVID vaccine on the African continent, which is a good thing because that goes to say that, even if we have another pandemic, we shall at least have infrastructure to start working with to create these vaccines. The first is already set up in South Africa. We are going to have another set up in Kenya. Kenya already has an MOU with Moderna. For those of you that remember, Moderna is one of those companies that were making the vaccine. And then for South Africa, Aspen has teamed up with, I think, Johnson and Johnson. Yes. And then in Rwanda and Senegal, we are also going to have two mRNA factories that can create vaccines in Africa. I think that is interesting news. And although the conversation around the pandemic have been shrunk by an invasion that is happening somewhere across the world, there are very many invasions that are happening, but that's a conversation for another day. But I also thought that was exciting news to hear this year. But that said, I just want to hear from Anita as a person. What is your year looking like? How exciting is 2022 so far? We are 3 months in. How is it?
Well, for starters, I am excited to be in one of the years that looks like it's not going to be as impacted by COVID. I say, yes, the changes are already around, but we see so much normalcy already returning. We see countries really working together to make travel easier. We see health systems actually starting to cope. We're seeing certain normalcy returning, and we're seeing more of the good things that quote unquote were brought by the pandemic. The change in workspaces for both of us, for example, are working home, remote workspaces, the turn of the election year, and a lot more hope arising, and people ready to just get back out there. And I think that's just quite the space that my year is in right now. Very ready to just get back out into the world minus COVID. Oh, something that came to my mind while you were talking about the pandemic and advancements made during, especially on the African continent. I think earlier in December or January, when the Omicron variant came to light, the fact that it was first discovered by a lab in South Africa, and that is the route where it went out to be told to the world that there's a new variant and this and this other implications. The fact that in the time that we have had around the pandemic, a lot of advancement has been coming up on the continent for us to become more and more competent health-wise and education-wise, and to become health leaders. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anita, for that perspective, and I agree that good strides were made. It was, although a new variant was being noticed, but it was exciting that we proved as a continent that we do have facilities to actually detect some of these things. It was exciting. Daniel Njuguna says, interesting, we are moving to the right direction. It's possible. Daniel, it is very nice to hear from you, a very, very good friend and committed person to the Youth Pulse check-in. It is exciting that when we get back, we are still with you, Daniel. And we are going to have Daniel one of these days because I was moving on the streets and I have learned that Daniel, when it comes to politics, he is quite charged. He associates with a particular party in Kenya, but not my place to say. We will get Daniel, and probably Daniel will give us his perspective of what it means to be a youth involved in our partisan politics in Kenya. Hopefully, that will be sometime next week. I'll try to set up that meet with Daniel. Ningayo Donang, good morning, says good morning from Chad. Hi, Donang. It is exciting to hear from you. Please let us know what is happening in Chad and how things are there. Ambassador Alfreda says Liberia is trying. The youth at least are trying now by taking steps in leadership from different sectors around the country. That is very exciting to hear. That's extremely exciting to hear. And with this pandemic, the youth are also working in line with the rules in order to stop the spread of this thing called COVID-19. True. Word, Ambassador Alfreda. Taking every necessary precaution. I agree that even if the limelight has been taken off COVID-19, but the pandemic in itself or the disease itself has not shrunk in its effects. So it is important and critical that as young people, we protect ourselves and our countrymen and loved ones from contracting the disease. And then lastly, okay, not lastly, but for now, Awange says hello from Kenya watching live. Tell us which part of Kenya and how is the fever around elections that are coming up very soon. I think in 3-4 months. Awange, we would like to hear how that is happening on your side. Beatrice, you are back with us. We just wanted to know how your year is going so far. We are 3 months in. How is it coming? At least me, I shared openly that I'm trying to equal your afro. I would like to know how.
I hope my internet is a bit stable now because I'm not in the greatest place or the greatest network. But the year starting out not bad. As Anita has shared, there's a lot of hope in terms of things opening up and us being able to move. I know I'm very eager to travel. I'm tired of being situated in one country. As much as I love my country, Tanzania, but yes, um, there's a lot of work coming up with, our constituency, young people all across the continent. So I'm also looking forward to unveiling a lot of those and seeing the impact that it will generate. And also to highlight and note what Anita had mentioned. I am also really happy and excited to see the progress that we're making in terms of young people holding more positions across different spaces in the continent. So yeah, it's shaping up well and looking forward to seeing what the year brings.
Okay. That is exciting to hear. And yes, Beatrice mentioning that a lot of things are coming up. That's word. That's word because last week, ULEAD Africa Secretariat and the ES Youth Ambassadors Platform concluded their annual planning retreat. Of course, the
Mm.
planning retreat is usually informed by the post-summit agenda of the previous summit, and that is ULEAD 2021. And in consultation with consortium members of ULEAD Africa, young people in East Africa, and some of the development partners, thematic programming has been put together to inform and specifically address the issues that were raised by the East African and the African youth during the summit. Of course, some of these issues were already addressed, like I told you. I think during the summit there was a big outcry about young people not being involved in the AFCFTA, and a group of young people came up and said, hold my beer. Let's just create an advisory council and ensure that we enforce it ourselves. So, yes, we are having extremely progressive thinking from young people, and very soon a whole program will be laid out on what You Lead Africa, the ES Youth Ambassadors platform, and then other continental collaborating entities with You Lead Africa will be doing across there. Remember that last year You Lead went Africa, it's no longer regional, so when we address it, we have got to put some respect on that name because it is now continental. So when a program is rolled out, best believe it's not going to be in East Africa or in West Africa. It's going to be all over Africa. And that's why I'm telling you that when that program is rolled out, we shall probably be able to get the continental collaborating entities to come and tell us how they hope they will effect that conversation. And as always, if you are out there and running a youth organization in whichever part of Africa, you can reach out to us. And then I know people in big places. I know Beatrice. And Beatrice here with our colleague Kaze are some of the people that are charged with, getting on board organizations that we work with. So if you want to be part of this whole group, it's You Lead Africa is not exclusive. It's not an exclusive club. You just need to be a proactive youth to be part of it. So if you want to be part of it, just reach out to us. Then we shall get you in touch with the boss lady here. She'll just have a few questions for you, verify your work, and then you never know, you will be one of the continental collaborating entities and partners that we have all over the continent. So there is that. Before probably the end of the month, hopefully our program will be out. And usually, as ESC up and You Lead Africa, we have like very many avenues of communicating. But you guys know that I got you. I'll be the one to break that program here on the check-in. And then, not to be that guy, but everyone else can now start
You are being
sharing.
that guy.
Everyone will start sharing. But I have to say it is an exciting year that is coming up for us. And definitely, you all know how the year ends. The year ends with highly coveted You Lead Summit. Okay. And this year, I know that because You Lead for the first time has gone Africa, we are probably going to have more participation from other African regions, which means that that selection is going to be tight. That selection is going to be tight. But like Anita said, we have the challenge we have had with numbers was because of the pandemic. The pandemic is not necessarily subsiding, but we are understanding it now and treating it. So that shouldn't be an issue. Back to the comments. Fiona. Okay, boss lady, we see you. And Fiona says she hears you, Beatrice. It would be nice to go elsewhere. All right. Fiona and Beatrice want to go, I don't know where, but they just want to move. They just want to move for a
Anywhere.
week. Is this a vacation you need? Or you like just want to migrate?
No, no, no. We're speaking in work terms.
Okay, there is that. Daniel says, thank you a lot, Ambassador. I'm excited to Kopamoja. Speaking of Tuko Pamoja, and for those of you that don't know Swahili, it simply means that we are together. Trust me. None of my guests here today speaks better Swahili than I do.
Excuse.
And speaking of Swahili, the African Union adopted Swahili as a recognized language on the African continent. So there you have it. We have English, Portuguese, Arabic, Swahili as one of the official African Union languages. So that was exciting news, mostly for the eastern and central part of Africa, where this language is mostly spoken. And I know now that I'm talking about Swahili, Anita is getting back. Don't worry, no one is going to ask you anything in Swahili yet.
Wow, Ivan.
Blessing Achimogu says, hooking up from Nigeria. Blessing, tell us, and I like the language you're using. Blessing, tell us what is happening in Nigeria. Which part of Nigeria are you, and what's the pulse in that part of the country? That said, unfortunately, we have 30 minutes and we are seconds away from it. So I will just ask Anita and Beatrice to just say their goodbye words for now, and then flag us off in their mother tongue. And I suspect Beatrice will be using Chaga. Anita, I'll start
I
with
knew
you.
it.
You should have seen this coming. Well, it was really good to be here again, and I look forward to more of these. And happy Women's History Month that's still ongoing. Celebrate a woman that you're proud of.
Let me
Um,
stop you there. I need to declare that I'm a devout feminist. Go ahead.
He says after forgetting to acknowledge us.
Don't do that to me,
Thank you very
Beatrice.
much. Right? Yeah, Ivan, we do know you are very devout in that agenda. But celebrate a woman you love, and someone that inspires you, and do intentionally inspire another girl to come after you. Musibe kurunji. Yeah, have a lovely day.
All right. Over to you,
I hate,
Beatrice.
I hate that you guys are putting me on the spot to have to say something in my native language. Um, I really don't have much to say, but look out for our up and coming activities. Check in to the next Youth Pulse check in. And, stay tuned, stay active. We love hearing your comments, your stories. I'm seeing quite a lot in the chat as well, so that's nice. And yeah, have a great year, guys. And kwaheri, natakia siku njema.
Okay. Your Chaga sounds a lot like Swahili. A lot like
Yeah,
Swahili.
it is.
But anyway,
I'm
as
pushing
always,
forward the agenda that has been put forward.
okay. Shout out to Anita and Beatrice. Your work ethic is something to celebrate. I now feel like Fiona has to mention my name in this chat box. I'm not ending the session until Fiona gives shouts out to me.
She's celebrating the women that she admires.
What about me? An ally in this quest of feminism. But you all know, for those of you that want to catch up with Fiona, we always have the Unplugged series every Thursday from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And Fiona has said it. She has said my name. This is exciting. We always have the Unplugged series happening every Thursday from 7 to 8 o'clock. Please tune in. The links are all over our social media. We usually post starting tomorrow. You just go to ESC app or ULID Africa, Facebook, Twitter, the Gram, and you'll be able to be part of the conversations. And as for the check-in, we are going to be having them twice every week. Monday when we open the week, and then Friday when we close the week, probably do an assessment of what happened in the week and try to see who is going to do what on the weekend in which African city. You never know. Beatrice is here hunting for destinations. It could be that African city. Otherwise, we are eternally grateful. It's been a while since we were here, and when we came back, you guys overwhelmingly turned up. We love to see that. And like Beatrice said, a lot of programming is coming up. It's going to be an exciting year. And we hope that for all of you that have set your yearly goals, I hope that goal you set for 3 months in, I hope you've hit it. But if you have not, we still have like what, 9 months to go. Time is still there. No need to be discouraged. Just get on a grind. And that said, from us, the ULID African ESCF Bureau, we say thank you so much. Have a good morning and a productive week. Cheers. Oh, closing up, I will end with a ULID Africa remix song. I never got to premiere this song on the check-in, and I felt so bad. But before we close, Awange came back and said, "Thank you so very much, Ambassador. I'm from Siaya County in Kenya. I hope I pronounced that right. And let
You see, the Swahili needs to be put in practice a bit more.
get behind me,
Yeah, yeah.
Beatrice. Siaya. Okay. And let me this today. How can I join this community and become a youth ambassador? To become a youth ambassador, there's always an application process, and when the next round of applications happens, probably this year, we shall be able to publicize it. But you do not need to wait for the application to be ambassador to join and support or be part of the work we do as ULEAD Africa and the ES Youth Ambassadors platform. Just stay tuned to the social media platform. I know that you are using Facebook, I believe. Just stay tuned. And when you and we shall be releasing the events that we are undertaking, and somewhere we shall need support, and you just need to show interest, and we shall bring you on. That is no problem. While you wait for the next round of applications to be part of the Youth Ambassadors platform. And to conclude, the Youth Pulse check-in always streams on all our channels. I see Fiona has been tuning in from YouTube. Awange here was on Facebook. Someone was on Twitter. I do not remember who, but just go to any of our any of our social media platforms and you will be able to catch up with the check-in. That said, I already mentioned that we had a ULEAD remix that was done during ULEAD 2021. And as a close off to this segment of the African Youth Pulse check-in, here you go.
Tusonga mbele mama Afrika, Afrika, Tusonga mbele mama Afrika, Afrika,
Kokamo Africa. Mulishani wonse. Bonjour.
from country to country, yeah, we gotta work together. We are leaders now, aiming higher for the better. Together, to make our nations greater, our sharing to empower. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality.
Yeah, listen, together we shape young men and women. With the pillars, with the future, here we are. Let's join together with ability to change communities, with love, with peace, to respond to our need, to call for unity. Africa, hear me cry. Never leave me alone. As I see light in a brighter future, let's join hands for youth and women. Let's join hands for youth and
So you
women.
lead, I lead, we lead together. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality.
Yeah, vijana wa Afrika wote waungana, vijana vijana kutoka mashariki, magharibi, kaskazini na kusini, hata na kati, twaja pamoja ili tufanye nini?
So you lead, I lead, we lead together. So you lead, I lead, we lead together. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality. We will lead, we will lead. Let your dream be a reality.
Hello, Kunjani. Search Bakai.